Hey guys, Heavyarms 45 here. I hope y'all enjoyed that quiz I gave y'all last week. If you weren't able to Google the answers or anything like that, you should be able to find them down in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed it. It was just a time waster. Something to get you to think about. And think about old times and stuff like that. And with this being the Sunday before Memorial Day, I want to tell y'all a story that kind of goes with this. About, we'll say some years ago, I'm not going to give exact time, I had my friends that I have today play Pathfinder with me. I've told y'all before about my favorite character, Javo, that I love playing. He was a dwarf. But during that, me and him were always playing. Like, when I was in college, I played him at least once a week. But we also, when I played in college, we had 4 different campaigns. I was a DM for one campaign that was kind of tied into my Dungeon Masters campaign that we had, which was connected to his Dungeon Masters campaign. And then we had one that was in Ravenloft, which was in Dungeons and Dragons. And then we had another one that was a modern campaign. So we had, like, at most times, 4 different campaigns going on all the time. So when I get out of college and, there's no campaigns. There's no place for me to go to campaign with people. My friends are, like, scattered in the wind, seems like. They all went back to their hometowns, went back and started doing their own thing. So when I ran into my new friends, it was an experience. Like, we didn't know that we liked that. I was kind of nervous about even telling anyone that I liked playing Pathfinder. Because that's not something that is normal, I thought, when it comes to black people. I just suspected that, no one's don't like that. So I was looking online to see if there was a place that you could find a social group that plays it in my hometown, and I hadn't found it. But when I was at Anime Blues Con, which is usually in the summer, usually in July in the summer, I ran into my friends playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I played one of my friends Yu-Gi-Oh! And he had a Blue Eyes deck. I had a Spell Counter deck. And so we both had our decks. I kind of had a more, I guess you say, up-to-date deck. So we had fun with that. It's something that me and my friends sometimes talk about because, it was the start of our friendship, I guess you could say. And from that point on, they called me every once in a while to hang out, but we were still acquaintances at the time. Well, one Sunday before Memorial Day, I get out of church and I call one of them up, and they tell me that they and some other friends had decided to take a little trip to the local mall. And I decided to meet them out there. So I go out there, meet them at this, what was the name of the store? FY, I won't think it was, where they were looking at anime and DVDs and music in there and posters. And, as they were looking at, I came up, said what's up, we started talking. They were hungry, so we knew that there was a Taco Bell like right across the street from the mall, so we hung out at the Taco Bell there. I come in with at some point we started talking about Pathfinder, and yeah, we talked about just about everything. We talked about Pathfinder, we talked about anime, but while in Taco Bell, I go outside and bring in my whole duffel bag full of books. And it's books on Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. And one of my friends is just like, he's deep into it. I give him the core rule book and he is absorbing everything in it. The rest of us are talking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards and doing a little trading in that, doing some, and in some ways I think because I had some newer cards, I was giving some of the cards away. Just because I'm like, all they do is just pick up dust. And at the time when I went to places that people played Yu-Gi-Oh, all they wanted was the rare cards. I didn't have rare cards. All mine were commons. So if it wasn't shiny, I didn't worry about it. And other people who were around me didn't worry about it that much. So we traded Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff like that. And we started talking about Pathfinder. And we started saying, hey, maybe we could try and do a campaign. Because they told me that the most that they've done is they had got the starter pack, which gives them not the full core rulebook, but a book that gives you a general idea of how Pathfinder works with a campaign guide and a couple other stuff. And when they said that to me, it didn't really have everything that I expected. Like, I'm like, so what races are y'all? And I think the only races they said were in there was human, half elf, elf, and goblin. I think it was. I was like, that's weird. They don't have no dwarves, halflings. And they looked at me like I was like telling them something new. I'm like, oh man. That's why I was so glad to give them my, let them see my book so we could try and figure out exactly, we'll show them what could actually be done. So in that way, I became their DM because I had years, if you want to say, of experience being a DM before and playing the game. I wasn't the best DM. In our first session, I did something stupid. It is a stupid thing in DM. Like I said, it had been a couple years since I had played my favorite character, Javo. I kind of got nostalgia. I didn't want to play him as a character. I just wanted to use him as an NPC. So in the first session that we had, there were 4 people in the team. If I remember correctly, we had a ranger, we had a cleric, a wizard, and I want to say a fighter. So, when they come out with these characters, I'm like, hey, let's go ahead and have them, it wouldn't be bad for them just to run into Javo, see how things are. So that's what I do. We have the characters meet up. I put my own character into a situation of Javo was accused of killing someone. So he was being hunted down. Now, I learned some years ago that you don't put, and this is a rule for anyone who's a DM, you do not put an idea into your character's head of stuff they can try to do if you don't want them to try to do it. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. But I knew that I wanted to try and put this, put just Java in there. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, he was there. Well, that's not exactly what happened. what I did was that a doppelganger took his image and pretended to be him, killed somebody, and then went on with his day. What happened was, when I put a bounty onto his head, my characters decided they'll take that. It was like for 400 gold, I want to say, that they had to do this. Because, your between first and third level, 400 is a lot, So when it comes to playing, they do a little searching, find where Javo is, and they just see a dwarf sitting there. Now, I didn't tell them exactly what his name was when I first told them that they were looking for him. I just said a dwarf was hiding and that he was a dwarf killed some people and that they were looking to arrest him. My party, and they did something that was very justifiable. They figured that, because somebody put him in front of them, that they should be able to attack him, which is, starting off a good concern. Because if you've done Star Path, then the idea is that you never put anything in front of people that they couldn't win. Because the point of a DM, like I was taught, was always to make it to where the characters have fun. You're not trying to kill your characters. You want to give them a challenge while giving them the ability to win. Well, I gave them something that I thought was entertaining, but not something they could win. Javo was level 18 at the time. And no, he's level 19. And when they ran into him, like I said, they like first or third level. So the cleric and the sorcerer, the cleric and the wizard don't see any point in trying to attack him. So they hang back. But the ranger and the fighter, they do kind of a pincer attack. They both sneak around on opposite sides of him at this campfire and charge at him in attack. And I didn't even make a big deal out. I'm like, they rolled for their attack. Both their attacks pinged off his armor, doing no damage to him. At that point, he stands up, quick draws his axe that's on him, and slaps both of them upside the head with his axe, with the side of his axe, not the blade of the axe, because he wasn't trying to kill him. He was just trying to knock them out. And not really knock them down. He didn't know why they were attacking him, so he just trying to defend himself. He knocked out both of them, one hit each. That's not the best story. I should have put this under the idea of stupid moments in DMing, because that was stupid. It's kind of like video game idea where you're like, okay, I'm gonna put this big boss in front of them, knock them out, just to show them how tough that things could be. That's not how you do stuff. Like I said, the whole point of it is to be entertaining, be fun, be something that they feel like they have a chance against. In that one move with me wanting to see my character, I demoralized my characters. One of them, after that, he didn't want to play anymore. Because I guess you could say I pulled a cheap shot on him. He didn't like that. And it's understandable. I regret doing that because that was a stupid moment in DMing. Like I said, you want to have something that is challenging. after that point, I never try to put anything personal in front of somebody that they can't win. But from that point, I did try to make a actual world where there are stuff that is greater than them, and I let them be aware of it. Now, it's not to say that everything they run up against is going to be something they can beat. There's certain people like, I'll just say this. I basically tried to make a country in my little Pathfinder world that's made up of people that are anime characters. And there's been somewhat in my recent DMing moments where I kind of cleansed some of these people away. At one point I had the Helsing organization because I kind of homebrewed a vampire lore from what I could find from the Dungeons and Dragons vampire lore. So I had Alucard in the Helsing organization. I had at one point the people from Ikitosen. I tried to homebrew the idea of having Titans. You know, the whole idea of trying to bring anime characters into this Pathfinder world. Just, you know, bringing some that could be considered medieval into a medieval game. But it was different in a way. When I talk about playing or doing anime is all about trying and bring something familiar out. But it's kind of like what my DM did. He brought us into a world where we like, okay, these are certain people that's in the game. I'm going to show you that they are tough. There's not somebody that you want to mess with starting off. Maybe later on, once you get to their level, you'll be able to fight them. But, you know, you're also trying to build up an encounter for them that's a challenge. Ever since that my friends that did play with me for a while, there's been some situations between some of them, and some of us don't play with the other ones. Some, you know, we're talking about over 8 years of us trying to play. They, when I first met them, were in college. Now they're out of college. They don't have time to do all this stuff. They don't have Pathfinder time. They have bills to pay. They have kids. You know, they have other stuff they want to do. Yes, if you listen to my video last time and in the description down below, the 2 friends that I have that's on Twitch did play with me, but it's trying to get their time with my time. So it's like Ninja Tank 2-5, he was my cleric. Lowkey were both one was a shadow dancer and the other one was a ranger, but not the same ranger that attacked first. That ranger became a magus, and me and his wife and some other people that kind of float in and out have been playing Pathfinder, and it's, you know, it's still somewhat for them juggling that, because they have, like I said, a family to take care of. Him and his wife have 2 sons that at times we have to wait for them to go sleep so we can play, because they're like 5 and 2. So the 5-year-old likes the dice and he wants to roll them, and the 2-year-old, he likes the dice and I'm worried about him putting them into his mouth, because I've seen him try to put a dice into his mouth. I'm like, no. And some people could be like, hey, y'all could just go ahead and use your phones and stuff like that. And my answer to that is, shut up. I like rolling actual dice. You know, it makes me feel good. It's also, and not just because of the fact of you're actually having a physical dice in front of you, but people can't cheat the system when it comes to you using actual dice. Like dice rollers, I've tried to play with one. Like with this whole virus thing, we've played a couple times where my dice were over at their house, and we played over Discord, and as we did, it kind of gave me some bad rolls. Like, if I roll a d20 myself, I can get somewhere between a 5 and a 15, most likely. Rolling a d20 on this dice roll that they have on Discord only gave me some up to a 8. And I'm like, something's wrong here. And it's not a luck thing when it comes to you rolling dice. I mean, not when you do it electronically. When you roll an actual die in real life, it feels like you really do have luck, because I have had some great stories based off of how somebody rolled in real life over how somebody rolled on dice roller. Dice rollers, to me, always roll low. They never get anything higher. They never get into double digits a lot of times. It's always lower digits when it comes to rolling a D20 or even a D100. Like, I used it one time to do a percentage. It didn't really roll that high. So why in the world would I want to use it? So, I've recently had been trying to do Pathfinder with people, and just thinking back on how the history of my friends' Pathfinders went is so different. It could have been better, could have been worse, but it was interesting. I'll probably try to give y'all a couple more stories of actual times when we played. But I was just thinking about, the time we met and just it was the Sunday before Memorial Day, and we decided to start playing Pathfinder. And I'll catch y'all later.